Welcome back to the KTBS 3 Freedom Fest finale.
Barksdale was carved from what was at the time a cotton field and was first named Barksdale Field. A crowd estimated between 50 and 60,000 people attended the dedication in 1933.
The name honors Second Lieutenant Eugene Hoy Barksdale. Barksdale was a test pilot who died while on test flight in Dayton, Ohio. A big part of Barksdale's history revolves around the B-52. If you live in Shreveport-Bossier, you have no doubt seen them flying overhead. The B-52 has flown missions all over the world. It fired the first shots of the Gulf War, and incredibly, it served in the U.S. arsenal for nearly 70 years.
We hear it roaring overhead from the parking lot as we do our grocery shopping in Bossier City. The B-52, a symbol of pride and power for those of us who live here. Its greatest trait may be its near 7 decades of service.
Well, it's over 60 years old, so you got to say something for the old guy there.
Steve Hess served as a weapons system officer and navigator aboard the B-52. He now works in the Pentagon as a civilian strategic planner for the Air Force. His responsibilities include the future of the B-52.
I think it was just built at a time when longevity and strength and integrity of the airframe. I think Boeing did a really good job in meeting the requirements from the Air Force back in the early 50s.
It's the H model that we see flying overhead these days, and despite more than 6 decades in the air, Hess says the B-52 has many good years left.
If everything goes right and the engineering analysis that's currently in place with that airplane stays intact and we fly at about the same rate that we're flying it now, this airplane will last to the mid-60s.
That would mean more than 100 total years of service in the U.S. arsenal. Unprecedented and unheard of. And there are many more impressive accomplishments. It's flown around the world without landing several times. It's set Guinness World Records. And there's the secret Squirrel mission that fired the first shots of the Gulf War. Hess was part of that. He and his fellow squirrels were honored at December's Independence Bowl.
There's some clandestine flights that happened over the years. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's secret we can't even begin to tell you about that we've done. But it's a great airplane. It's a crowd pleaser.
And he says it's lasted so long because the airframe is easily modified.
The biggest things that have changed, of course, is the radios, the communication, the flow of data that we've been able to get because of computerization. That has changed. The mechanics of the mission have changed, but the mechanics of flying the airplane really have not.
Modifications are underway for further upgrades. New Rolls-Royce engines, new radar, new radios. The new engines will begin testing in 2026 or 27.
We're going to get 25, 30, maybe 30 some odd % more efficiency out of the engines. Quieter, less smoke, more fuel efficient.
That will also mean a new electrical system, new pneumatic system, new hydraulics. And while the latest Air Force technology like the B-21 is on the horizon, Hess says the newer, stealthier bomber still can't do what the B-52 does.
You need a truck, and that's what the B-52 is. It's a big old Ford F-150 that can carry a lot of stuff.
Near 70,000 pounds of weapons all over the world.
You don't need to have a high-end stealth platform for everything, a penetrating platform. You need something that can carry a whole lot of stuff really efficiently and at a lower price point, so to say.
And because of that, Hess says you'll continue to hear the roar of the B-52 from nearly every store parking lot in Bossier City for some time to come.
Everybody that lives around, Bossier City, I think your grandkids will be seeing B-52s.
Steve Hess says there are 76 B-52s remaining in the U.S. fleet. I never get tired of seeing them overhead at Barksdale Air Force Base. They are always very impressive. And you grew up, you've been watching these planes your whole life.
Literally my entire life. I remember as a little boy, there was a sign right outside of the entrance to Barksdale Air Force Base, peace through strength. The reason we have peace is the strength provided by the B-52.
Yeah, and they've been around since the mid-50s, and they'll take us all the way into the 2050s. Incredible.
Thank God for them.
Yeah.
Those heroes offered a salute to our nation as they were honored at last year's Independence Bowl. They were presented with the Omar Bradley Spirit of Independence Award. The reunion and ceremony was a chance to reminisce, reflect, and honor their fellow airmen, past and present.
I met that group, and they really are
Incredible
extraordinary
men.
men. Yeah, absolutely. Barksdale's impact goes beyond the gates of the base. Many of the men and women who serve here choose to retire in the Arklatex, where they continue to contribute to our community.
Bill, I'm here today because my father, after World War II, chose to retire at Barksdale Air Force Base. Tens of thousands of people have, and what an asset they are to our community. This city, this area would not be the same without Barksdale Air Force
And we're
Base.
grateful for their presence here.
Amen.
More of the KTBS 3 Freedom Fest finale after the break.